It gonna why not? Oh, you know what it is?
All right, welcome everybody to our Tuesday night product training with Dr. Phil Sleds and Cheri Lechner. We're so excited tonight because we're covering the kids line. I know this was the top requested. I know for me, having kids, I haven't been this excited about a product training for a while. Well, we love it every single week. But with that, I'm going to hand it over to the amazing Dr. Cheri. Take it away, my friend.
All right. So, oh my gosh, the kids line, y'all know, if you don't know, a chiropractor for 35 years, but I've been a pediatric chiropractor all that time as well. So, kids are super, super important. I treat them every day. And literally, when I was reviewing this kids line, I started having tears stream down my face because I knew the impact that these products were going to have, not only for the children, but for their family. And because they're clean, they don't have synthetics, they don't have artificial flavors, artificial colors, and they're designed for growing bodies. And they're clinically researched on children. So it is very rare to find a kids line that's been researched on children, and that's clean. And you're going to understand why they're so impactful. But because of what we're seeing, more and more and more every day, and there's more and more kids coming for help, not about their spine, but for their mental, for their brains, for their brain health and their gut health. Because I am a gut brain specialist as well. I healed my son's gut and brain 15 years ago with food. And he was my greatest teacher and sent me on a journey. And had I had these products, I really believe it would have been months, less than 6 months, rather than 2 to 3 years of restoring him. So, Dr. Phil, I'm going to let you go ahead and start with the kids. I'm not going to be able to wait. Can I scroll it down? Oh, good. I
Yeah,
can. Figured it
awesome.
out. Okay. I'm going to let you go ahead with the Vita GBX, and then I'll pull up the fundamentals. And
Thanks, Dr. Cheri, for that. And great intro, too. And I want to intro a little bit, too, with some of the things here that Dr. Cheri talked about, but also hinting. So, here's some things. What Dr. Cheri said was 1000% spot on about having things that are clinically tested on children. This is huge. We have an opportunity to reach people and help people in ways that maybe we didn't have quite to this level at our previous company. So this is really wonderful. And I just want to, again, I want to hit this home. I'm going through the products because before every presentation, I take a look over on all these things. I know Dr. Cheri does too. It is amazing how many trademarked ingredients they have in here, things that have patents in there. It's just mind-boggling. I mean, I think I'm up to like 50 I've counted, and I think I still haven't gotten them all. So you guys, they have done their research, and there are things in here in the kids line too. So they really did their homework and getting good quality ingredients in here. Again, safe, non-toxic, and pure. Here's something to think about. We have a demographic here we can reach with children. Okay, according to studies for children, we know that when they receive the proper nutrition, okay, that is linked to improved enrollment, okay, improved completion of school and learning, higher grades at school, better attention, better focus, okay, and a stronger immune system. They don't get sick as often. And we're talking about an area that Dr. Cheri is going to go into more too here about the gut-brain connection. We already know from things that we've done before how important and impactful the gut is on our health because of the gut-brain connection, but also it's around 80% of our immune system is housed in our gut. Think about these changes that have gone on today with birthing processes, breastfeeding, things like that, because it's so critical for children to get that breast milk, especially in the early days with the colostrum. The colostrum is a substance in the early breast milk where they infuse the child with the important antibodies in there that builds that immune system, critical nutrients, and then throughout that nursing period, getting other critical nutrients that help build the nervous system, the immune system, different areas of the body. And we know that when you get the proper nutrition, we know this in children, you get better growth and development, better bone formation. Don't just think about the emotional and mental ramifications, but also the cost if you don't have these things, like good bone health, good immune system health. How many trips to the pediatrician does that lend to? Cognitive function, dental health, okay, as well as helping support the immune system to prevent disease. We're not treating diseases here, again, folks, disclaimer. We're talking about wellness, supporting wellness in the body. And if we do happen to mention diseases, we're talking about supporting wellness in that capacity. Okay. And then the big thing here, and I don't want to steal any more thunder from Dr. Cheri here, supporting the gut. A lot of these products have that GBX, which is the gut-brain axis formula, like the Vita GBX. I think it's imperative to have a great multivitamin in any capacity. I got my Vita GBX. It's in my fridge right now. I'm taking that. I love it. We have to think about why we are, and Dr. Cheri is going to go more into this, why we want great products to help support and rebuild the flora in the gut because of prescription antibiotics, because of high refined carbohydrate diets. These are things that wipe out the good bacteria in the gut, okay? And that lends to a whole host of problems. Fluoridated tap water, that's another one. High levels of stress. All these things can cause the good bacteria and yeast to diminish, and then we have to have a method to replace them. Because if we don't, we can't digest our food, and every organ and tissue in our body depends on proper nutrient absorption and assimilation. So probiotics are important in that role. The Vita GBX here. So what I love about this multivitamin is designed for kids. And like I said, they tailored this. It wasn't just taking an adult product and just kind of, we'll cut the doses down and we'll give it to kids. Okay, they did their homework. One thing right up front is that with children, we have to worry about doses. There's no mega dosing in this, no mega dosing. That's one thing that I love. Okay, you've got the things that it supports, helping improved concentration, attention, alertness. It's got a lot. It gives you a wide variety of nutrients that we can, quite frankly, even if we eat well, miss because of the way we have soil erosion in the country and things like that. And then it optimizes that gut-brain axis again. Whenever we see the GBX in there, a whole bunch of goodies on that list. I won't go into them, but a multivitamin contributes to all those things that we talked about that can put a child into, potential health or mental wellness jeopardy state, or to the contrary, keep you out of that, which can preserve a quality of life, but also help go easy on the pocketbook for when it comes to health expenses. So this is something for me that as a doctor, it's a no-brainer. It's something I want to recommend to everyone, including adults, but here we have a great one. And it hits all of the key nutrients needed for growth. And the basic thing here is the doses are correct. It's easy to take. It's chewable. It's got a yummy natural flavor that's non-toxic. That doesn't include unwanted things that would be natural flavors, but good natural flavors using things that we want. So that's what I'll say about that. Dr. Cheri, over to you. And if you want to add anything, feel free.
No, I just think it's very comprehensive, and I love that it's micro doses of nutrients. It's 50 different vitamins, minerals, and amino acids, as well as the plant nutrients, what we call the phytonutrients. And I like to say, that really talks to our cells. So no, I think it's very well formulated. And if they don't like the taste, they could just swallow the little tablet. As far as I understand, they're small. And then, so it's very comprehensive. And so it's their bones, it's their eyes, it's their heart, their brain, their skin, their hair. It's so important to have those nutrients because it's, it fuels the whole purpose. So
Nervous system.
Yeah. And well, that's the brain. Yeah. So when we say brain, we're also talking nervous system. So Dr. Phil, would you like to talk about, maybe I'll just see which, let me see where we were. No, that's not it.
Did you want me to go to the calm?
Pardon me. I'm going to click out of that one so I know. I'll go ahead and talk about the Calm. This is a great product. And by the way, any of the kids' doses, the Vita GBX, I would take the adult if you're the adult. But the kids' Calm, anyone can take, just so you know. But what I like about the kids' Calm and what's very special, there's a couple of things. One is it doesn't have melatonin, because melatonin is like, a hormone and can affect metabolism, and children are growing. So we don't want to impact their metabolism, right? We want them to have a healthy one. So, and it's not synthetic. So what this actually does is it's melatonin free. So it helps create healthy sleep habits, but it calms them. And it also it helps them wind down before sleep, and there's no sugar in it whatsoever. And it's actually sweetened with blueberry. So there's no sugar. So how they make it taste good that kids, and it's a gummy, but it's not gelatin, which is, made from animals. It's actually citrus pectin. So if someone's vegetarian or vegan, they can take this and they're going to get their full amount of their B's and their D's. And it's promotes the feel-good hormone serotonin. And it does that, and it promotes healthy GABA. So GABA is what calms us down. It's like our inhibitory neurotransmitter. And so it helps with all the excitatory. So for a lot of kids, they're like, have you ever seen dogs when they're getting ready to go to bed or lay down and they circle like this? Well, there's a lot of kids that do that and they run all over the place and do this. So this actually helps calm them and get them into the sleep zone is the way that I'm going to explain it. And so it supports the body's natural production of the serotonin. And it does this with a product called, one of the ways is with Mazenol, which is made from corn leaf, okay, and also magnesium. So it promotes calm and relaxation. And it also uses 5-HTP, which promotes healthy serotonin levels, which is your feel-good neurotransmitters, along with vitamins B12 and B6 to help mood regulation and promote calm and restful sleep. Because how many kids get a little moody before they go to sleep, right? Especially if they're having some, blood sugar dysregulation, or they're not eating great, or they had some artificial colors, or, there's so much, not just with diet, just life can be stressful, and you could have just told them, no, they can't have ice cream, and now they're stressed, right? And they're in an upset. So calm can be very effective. And then the vitamin D3 also aids calm and relaxation to help you wind down and promote sleep. And so it works really great. And I remember hearing some testimonials about it. And it's just a delicious little gummy, but adults can take them too. So that's what I'm going to tell you. Do you have anything to add to the Kids Calm, Dr. Phil?
That was great, Dr. Sher. Let me see here.
I'll put up the fundamentals for you.
Yeah, that was, and Dr. Sherry was actually right. She was actually, I don't know if you were reading my mind. I was looking at these things going, I think I want to take a couple of these myself.
Yes,
Because
yes.
of some of the ingredients in here. Because I was like, is this one in the other one in the adults? And I couldn't find some of these things because I saw, again, I get excited. I'm a nerd ingredient. I know you are too, a nerd for ingredients. And I saw some of these things that were proprietary and trademarked. And I go, I'd like to experience that and see what that's about.
Yes, and I've been trying all of these on myself. To see the effect. And so of course it's going to be a lesser effect, but yeah, an adult would just take more, same thing when we get to the kids' mood. There is an adult mood, but adults can take the kids' mood too, so.
Fantastic. Great job. That was great info, Dr. Sherry. Thanks. The kids fundamentals, I'll go into that just really quickly. That's a product here, you guys. So, think about the children that this would be an application for kids who maybe they get the sniffles a lot. They're picking stuff up, so that's a clue to me that we want to make sure we build that gut axis nice and strong, the gut, because that's where our immune system is really housed. That's where a lot of activity comes, not just from the probiotics and prebiotics that we take, but also that's where antibodies are made. A lot of different lymphocytes and these little cells between our gut lining cells, that's where these things are made and matured. So we have a really important it's a big a priority to support the gut. The Kids Fundamentals has probiotics, it has prebiotics. It's got something in there that's also trademarked. This Wellmune is in there. And that's really, there's just a lot of great stuff in here. This is one of the things that actually I wanted to order, but I hadn't focused on that until I started looking at it. It's got the right strains. It's got these great prebiotics in there. Let's talk about what it does. Okay, so it's got a lot of these things in the Kids Fundamentals that support
Adult fundamentals too.
And the adult fundamentals too. Yeah. First of all, they got a lot of studies. Okay, so that's great. They got some results here that they can talk about. Increasing short-term and long-term memory by increasing the visual and verbal recall by up to 28%. So again, we can think about all the cognitive school types of applications with these different products. This is really great. Proprietary blends in here. They've got all of these different prebiotics. That was one thing I wanted to talk just a really quick quick moment here about where was that? Oh, okay. Well, I didn't have it up. But what this is going to do is this is going to really strengthen that gut-brain axis in here. So for me, this would be a really great complement to the multivitamin. We see other people talking about that. Lisa, thanks for the feedback on that. We're talking about the calm, different things on here. And supporting the health and the immune system with the kids' fundamentals. Let's see here. What else was on that one? Dr. Cheri, let's see. Is there anything else that you wanted to go in there? It's a gut-brain axis. It's easy to digest.
Yeah, and it's literally it's designed to improve mental wellness. So even though it's going to balance out the gut-brain axis, it's designed, for happy, healthy kids, right? But not only that, it's like, Dr. Phil said, the mental concentration and the memory, but it also improves their physical energy. So physical energy, mental acuity, and emotional well-being. So it just is, it just really helps our kids have emotional resilience, stress resilience, have a healthy immune system. And, because it has those special proprietary blends of the probiotics and the prebiotics in this. And so this is like the adult fundamentals, but it gets all the benefits of the Amari Fundamentals pack for the adults in just one scoop in a serving for kids, right? So this is the one that's designed for kids in the right dosing, because dosing is really important. And so this has also those special prebiotics that supports it actually, the one is for depression, anxiety, and stress. And so the one actually lowers our stress hormone called cortisol. Okay, the other one enhances calmness and decreases anxiety and improves the cognitive function. And the last one actually improves the mood by reducing neuroinflammation. And that's a very specific bacteria, and that is huge, right? Because kids' brains get inflamed too. And then that same bacteria also helps to increase the serotonin, which is the feel-good neurotransmitter.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, that was the part I was looking for. It's serotonin helps you with the focus, helps you with the calm, helps support GABA production as well. GABA, we know, is, like Dr. Cheri said, the anti-anxiety neurotransmitter. So that's great. Think about it with kids, with all the stress they're under and how much time we call it tech neck. I'm sure Dr. Sherry's heard that term too, where we're just bent over, right? We're bent over. Chiropractors are like, don't sit like that, for gosh sakes. But kids, they're being started from that at a young age, and they're getting a lot of screen time. So we have to get these, got to get them outside, got them to break down that stress, get that cortisol level down, whereas maybe they aren't doing that as much today. So this is where a lot of this supplementation can come in and help out, at least with these lifestyle changes, while we try to incorporate a healthy lifestyle into that.
Yeah. So it helps them to slow down because life has gotten fast. And just so you all know, those screens actually short wire the brain, and kids need long wiring. And so, books are really good, reading and those things. So that's just a little side. I could do a whole thing on that. But these are great support. And we still have to do the things at home, like eating, and the proper, lifestyle pieces. So very good, Dr. Phil. Let's see what we got next. So I'm just gonna go into the happy juice since that's what came up. But I'm gonna find where I have some other.
Let's not hold back. This is a great product. I was looking at this today, and
and I have to tell you, as I talk to people about these products, I'm telling you, I have parents almost go into tears because because children, our world, we don't know that they're stressed, but it shows up in children very differently. And so it's affecting their performance at school and in social relationships. And then that impacts a child's confidence and how they feel about themselves and the kind of adult that they're going to become. That's why for me, these products that's why I started crying, because I understand the impact, right? And so this is going to help balance things out and allow them to become everything that God made them to be and to fulfill on their potential. So, and as you're getting to the underlying root causes of things. So I love that the happy juice is happy tummies and bright minds. So it's all about that gut brain axis. So it's designed for the endocrine system, the gut-brain axis, the immune system, and the microbiome. It's for stress resilience, better motivation, focus, and cognitive well-being. It's got probiotics, prebiotics, and phytobiotics. So it's got those same probiotics and prebiotics that we talked about that are the strains that support depression, anxiety, and stress. Okay. And it also has neuronutrients. So it's got probiotics, prebiotics, phytobiotics, and what they call neuronutrients. And it's mango leaf is one of them. It's an antioxidant. It's for memory, attention, cognition, skin health, blood sugar regulation. We don't need, but for adults, decrease wrinkles and increase collagen production, just FYI, for the adult happy juice. But it's really important for kids, especially that blood sugar regulation, because there's a lot of hangry kids going around, and people think they're just being, moody, and it's really their blood sugar is up and down, and how it's expressed in a child is irritability. They might become oppositional, where they're defiant, or all of a sudden they're mean, like they're sweet, la la la. Right? That's hangry. That's blood sugar dysregulation. That's not, an evil child. That's a beautiful child that has some hunger that doesn't know, because little kids don't feel that hunger. So those are the signs for any parents on here. And then palm fruit is another one of the neuronutrients, and that is an antioxidant as well. And it increases brain health. It protects against cell damage, learning, memory, and motor coordination. Because that's another thing that happens is kids get off balance, and it's because their motor, they get low tone in their tendons and things, and they'll trip, they'll fall. These are the kids that, it's like, why are they bumping into everything? Because they're having a little issue with motor coordination, and this is going to help that part of the brain, because it's different parts of the brain. Then lychee fruit is the other neuronutrient. It's an antioxidant which supports the immune system. And then the patented suntheanine is a patented fermented that fermentation that actually mimics the natural process in green tea. And this is a GRAS certified ingredient. So GRAS means generally recognized as safe. So it helps with mental flow, cognition, endurance, an alert state of relaxation, and it improves their sleep. It also promotes an alert state of relaxation. So I look at it this way: is you're focused and alert, but you're in a Zen state, and it's without drowsiness. And it also increases your alpha brain waves, and then which is your relaxed state. So think Zen master, and it decreases your beta brain waves, which are the excited awake state. So imagine that kids take this before school, and even though their bodies want to get around and move, now we put them in a Zen state so they can pay attention in school, right? And it's gluten-free. There is milk and soy that's been used in the manufacturing process, but there's no significant amount in the finished product. And then just so y'all know, lychee nut does have a cross reaction with nuts. So just to know that. So in case anyone knows, so you can know. And then they use, I don't even know how to say it, but they use katem. I don't know if you know how to say this, but it's katemfi fruit extract. And what's great about that is it doesn't disrupt the gut microbiome like a lot of artificial sweeteners, and it doesn't cause any blood sugar spikes. So that's our kids' happy juice. And if you want to see the pretty pictures, neuronutrients, probiotics, prebiotics, phytobiotics, and they'll just love it because it's happy. And all you do to use this, by the way, and this is what I like about these two, is they're stick packs, so you can use them with little children, so 4 years of age and up. And you just mix it in 8 to 16 ounces of water. Okay, so Dr. Phil, would you like to add anything about the
That
kids'
was great.
use?
Yeah, that was one that I was fixated on there, the suntheanine.
Yes.
I just want to say, because you guys, that's like Dr. Cheri said, it's a patented form of something called L-theanine. And all those things she said is absolutely correct. It promotes this relaxed state of alertness. It's essential for two areas of your body. You really use a lot of it: your brain and your gut, both.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that it does in there, just like she said, but it combats anxiety. So it supports a reduced stress state, increases GABA. That's the anti-anxiety neurotransmitter. Supports less hyperactivity. That's important. Okay. It also helps with things like chemical dependency. Not that we expect to find that in children, but I'm just saying, because that's why it's so important We had that in Revitalize. We had that in some of the other products that we had from our previous company. And that's why it's something I took it, because it works in the body, helps out in so many ways. It also helps combat insomnia too. So when you combine it with all these things, you guys, this is a great, great product, well-rounded. It has grape seed extract, one of our favorite antioxidants, because Dr. Cheri and I have talked about ORAC value, the ORAC, which is the oxygen radical absorption capacity or capability to absorb free radicals. So that's a great, powerful antioxidant. And then something in there, beta glucans. Boy, I hawk the products that have this, beta glucans, because I know we can't, my tongue is tied. We can't make disease claims, but if I could just share with you guys, and I won't, but some of the things, what it does is it revs up your immune system to go and target specific types of cells in the body that are in a diseased state. And I can't say that, but I'm just going to tell you, it's a great immune booster, beta glucans. I make sure it's in some other products that we have here at Amari, which is just so impressive, something that's really impressed me. And it's
Phil,
here.
could I ask a question, and not to butt him? You mentioned something about chemical dependency. Two questions is like, can kids get literally addicted to sugar? And then the second thing is, when we talk about this epidemic of, for lack of a better words, I don't want to say the wrong word here, but let's just say self-sabotage in children that get really upset with their emotions and things like that. If they're turning to substances, it would stand to reason that if they're happy, or if all of these mechanisms that you're describing are taken on a regular basis, that they wouldn't need to go in that direction, just mentally speaking, to go toward a substance or chemical if their brain's already feeling better and they're wired to physically be happy. Anyway, it's just standing out as such a powerful supplement here. My mind is just blown.
Absolutely right. You know, it's if you can wire in things, okay, when your gut is off, chemicals go, you want things to feed the pleasure centers, areas of the brain. And if your pleasure centers aren't getting stimulation, you're kind of not feeling pleasure, you're just feeling miserable. So then you can turn to other things that would set you up in that downward spiral where it might give you a short-term pleasure, but they're really bad for you. And it takes you down that path further away from that. So I'm just summating. I'm just using a big general term, pleasure centers. That means a lot of different things that get pinged by the brain, but this is one of them. So putting that in there, helps supporting that is, I think, imperative, but it helps break that cycle. It can help support breaking that cycle in there. Dr. Cheri, would you want to add on to that?
Yeah. So, as far as that's concerned, what I love about this, and this is where I want you to get this, because David, it's true. Like, we're looking when we don't have the neurotransmitters, because it all starts with the gut and the brain, aren't producing right. People will look for, like, for example, alcohol. Okay. Alcohol increases dopamine. That's our happy neurotransmitter. But so instead of having to look for that, what happens with this, see, these products help the body produce the right chemicals that the brain needs for optimal function, but also that the human being needs for optimal emotions and mood. So that's why you have a happy mood. It's just like I had a patient that I saw today, and like his parents will say, he's just kind of flat emotionally. I know what's happening. And I know when we give him, they're excited to try the happy juice, because not like he's, an upset or raging 13-year-old. He's just kind of like flat, like, there's no like big emotions, right? And I know his neurotransmitters are off because I know what he's eating. So, but frankly, some children have different feelings about food that is also biological. So what this is doing is getting up under the biology. And so then there is no, need for that, right? So, and it's certainly, this is going to help balance, because if someone was using chemical dependency, their gut's going to be trashed. So when you restore the gut, it helps the brain restore. And, instead of just giving that piece for the brain, this is how I explain it. For me, these products, not only are they going to help this is all about mental wellness, but it's going to help give a bridge or give support as you're getting to the root cause of something, especially if someone is just trying to help or they're looking at optimal wellness. So this is going to help give the body what it needs and tell it and message it how to create the right chemicals, because I'm all about cellular health, because health starts at the cells, and that's where this is getting to. It's getting to those little biochemical processes, and they're whispering to the cells, this is what you need. This is what you need to do for this. That's what's happening, right? So you could call these kind of like cell whisperers, if you will, right? If that explains it.
And you guys, and think about this too, Dave, or you guys, if everyone's seen a picture of a brain, right? You've seen the gyrus and the sulci. Those are the grooves that you have on the brain. Well, those, what we know in modern day neurology, those are actually pathways from things that we do habitually. They're pathways with the chemicals, meaning the foods that we eat, the things that we take in. It can be the drugs. It's just repeated over and over and over, and these pathways get repeated. It's repeated pathways with our emotions. So wiring the body, it takes time. So like you were talking about, with repeated exposure to the right things, you can actually change those grooves and physical structures in the brain. And this is, I always like to keep that in mind, because when I was taught that, I was like, wow, that's amazing. So what we do on a daily basis, how we think, how we react in certain situations, if we are on autopilot and we do nothing but stay on the same path, the brain just gets carved into these different grooves and fissures, and that basically shapes our brain the way it is. So we have an opportunity to bring these chemicals in, these cell whisperers, as Dr. Cheri said, and we can start pushing and grooving and marking a new path away from the incorrect path. So it absolutely has an effect in our neuroplasticity and all these different things by repeating the right habits, repeating the right things to help build those neurotransmitters, the chemicals that we want, the dopamine, the serotonin, the GABA, things like that. That helps stimulate the brain the way we want without adverse side effects. Dr. Cheri.
Yep. And I just want to, so that was great, Phil. That was perfect. And I just wanted to talk to you about the Kids Mood Plus product for mood support. This product is amazing. So I ordered a box and I've been giving it out to parents to try on kids. Let me tell you, I am getting the phone calls and the texts with a single stick. Like huge. For focus, for anxiety, for like, oh my God, my kid, like, what'd you do with my kid? Right? Because again, it's that balance. So these are working right away, is what I can tell you. And Mood Plus specifically is patented, okay? And it's going to help not only mood support, but stress resilience, cognitive performance, calmness, focus, and positivity. Okay. And they can take it in water or like a pixie stick. So it supports the better mood. And, too much processed foods, video games, screen time, all can lead to problems with mood, focus, mental acuity, and stress resilience. And we know how hard it is, like at school. Even if you feed your kid healthy at home, you go to school and there's all the influence, or the teachers have stuff. So, you can't, it can be a challenge, right? So what's really beautiful about Kids Mood is it uses some, I had my little sheet, even though I've got it on the screen, but it uses 3 specific key ingredients that are made. It's called Afrin, but it's made from saffron and holy basil and rosemary, along with those other probiotics that we told you before. And so what it's going to do is normalize the serotonin and dopamine, which are the happy and feel good neurotransmitters. It's going to promote a healthy stress and inflammatory response. All disease starts with inflammation. Now, nothing we've said tonight is intended to cure, treat, or prevent any disease, but we're supporting the inflammatory response. Okay. And in a child, remember, I've told you before, it's going to be a bigger response than an adult. So when we have inflammation in a child, we're going to see it in their behaviors, in their mood. And it's not because they're an evil child. They're out of balance. And the chemical messages are mixed up and they're too low. Okay. And so that's why things start to shift, and it supports their little bodies. And what I can tell you is such a gift is when the child experiences that for themselves, they don't think there's something wrong or bad about them. Because what do you do when kids are cranky or they're moody or they're not following direction? They get, I hate to say it, they get yelled at a lot. We don't mean to do it, but the parents are stressed too because we're trying to fit into society, which isn't fit in. I could go on and on and on about the schools, but I'm not going to do that. I just want you to know the powerful, powerful products that we have to help our children thrive and their families thrive and not be stressed. Because when a child is having challenges following just the direction because their brains are so busy and the parent has to now tell them 10 times, but they were supposed to be out the door 10 minutes ago, it's frustrating and it's stressful. Can you tell I know what I'm talking about? I know what so I get it. I really, really get it. And so this is why it's such a gift to balance it. And it's, all natural and soy-free and sugar-free, but these ingredients help those neurotransmitters and the oxidative stress. Just think about rusty joints, but in kids that affects things. But the Afron normalizes the serotonin, it aids in the cellular damage. And it's going to also support a healthy cortisol, which is our stress hormone level. And then the holy basil supports stress regulation, provides a calm body and mind. It supports the body's inflammatory response to be healthy and some resilience to anxious feelings, right? So we actually want to talk to you about anxious feelings, not anxiety, because anxiety is a diagnosis, but anxious feelings are like a symptom. It's just how you feel, right? And then rosemary supports mental focus. It actually helps to ease muscle discomfort and also supports the immune system. And I can tell you personally, when I took this, I felt like this. I was like, la, 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 la. I'm already happy, but I was like, la, 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 la. I am so relaxed. I'm like, I don't know if I should take this one. I need to get work done because I was just like, maybe I should go to the beach and do this and do that. It was actually, I felt really good. And I can tell you, my nephew was in the other day and he just happened to ask me if I treat kids. And for the life of me, I don't know why he doesn't know that I do, but I'm like, yeah, because his girlfriend has an 8-year-old who has anxious feelings. And he thought that an adjustment would help, which that will. But I said, oh my gosh, here, let me send a couple of packets with you for Ashley so she can give them to her daughter. And so if you have these things to give out, you can hand them out to people so they can try it because they're going to see the results with their child. And then, you have a happy customer, not an unhappy customer. But what I can tell you, with an hour of them giving this to their daughter, I'm getting a text, Aunt Cheri, I think it's helping. Zoe just said she feels better, right? I'm like, well, don't prompt her. Don't tell her she's going to feel good. He goes, oh, no, I didn't. And then, he texts me again today, 2 days later. And actually Sunday, he's texting me. He goes, how do I get this stuff? I want to get a box, right? And then he texted again to let me know that his girlfriend said that she totally saw a difference in the 2 days because it was back-to-back days. So I always give 2 sticks out. But back-to-back days, and she could totally tell the difference in her child. And the same thing happened with the first page. I mean, I could go on and on about it, but this is an amazing product. And when you can take the stress out of a household, oh my goodness. And what's really beautiful is there's a couple of packs that you can purchase that makes it a little more I don't know if I can get, no, I don't want to go there. Sorry, guys. Don't want to show that. I was trying to find where I could go to shop. That's where I want to go. Is the packs and bundles is they have the laid back kids pack. And they also have the Happy Juice pack. And the Happy Juice pack for the kids, there's the Amari Happy Juice 2-pack. There's the laid back where you get 2 boxes of mood and 2 boxes of calm. Remember, adults and kids can take this. The adults would just take 2 packs instead of 1. But there's also I think it's called the Happy Juice bundle. And where's that here? Sorry, I'm paging through. I know this is not perfect.
Yeah. Keep paging, Dr. Cheri, and I'll just, I think we've been getting a few questions also on the age, like how young, I see that question popping up here. How young would you be okay starting your patients? I know where I'm chiropractors, I got my nephew on things pretty early, things like that. What's your take on the age as far as
Well, they
starting?
actually have ages for this. So like the happy juice is 4 to 16, right? And I think one of them could go as young as 3. But you're not, these are big, this would be, I don't think it's indicated for a like 2-year-old, right? So again, but you could always take what I would say, see what the company has to say, but also what I would say is you could always take it to your pediatrician and get their approval, right?
Mhm.
But this was the package. It's the Amari's Kid Pack. This is a new pack, and you get all 3 formulas. So you get the mood, the calm, and the happy juice in one pack for $149.95, and it's 100 PV.
Yep.
If you're wanting to build the 100 PV, but what I like, I was just telling a patient about it today because this is going to give them a deal, right? And so, but if they don't need the happy juice, they might just want mood and calm. And that's why, and if they're going to have multiple kids in the household, there's the laid back kids pack, and this is 105 PV. So there's that. If they don't want the happy juice, they could just, but then they're getting extra. And then they can also do, they have the 2 packs for the fundamentals and the calm. So that's what I like is they can double up. And I also like that they come in stick packs, which means you can share them. So I'm always going to keep some in my purse or in my car so that I have them at any time because you just never know when you're going to run into someone. And literally, the only reason I was able to give one out is that I happened to have stuck it in my pocket to take it to work with me because I didn't have I had the box at the office and I forgot. So I took, or I had it at home. So I took the stick with me and I just happened to have it in my pocket so I could give it to the mom because a patient came in that I'm like, oh my God, this could make all the difference in the world. And it did. He got like, when the teacher comes out to the car, it's not good news. And guess what? The mother got good news that day that her son did great in school. He did great on a test and he took his time, which tells me he was in a Zen state. So what else do you have to say, Dr. Phil?
I thought you nailed it. That was great. And all I was going to add was on that fundamentals, you guys. If you hear the kids' fundamentals, if you hear the term tummy ache a lot from your little one, that one's got more of the probiotics in there. So that one would be something if you hear the tummy ache. Again, we're not talking about diseases or things like that. Their tummy hurts a lot. That would be a good one to incorporate. That would be my clue as far as hearing that. Say, oh, okay, this is where I would go with the products on that.
And if they're getting sick a lot, pair these 2 together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those would be great. Great stuff. Guys,
Yeah.
any other questions? Like we can look at the questions really quickly and see if anyone has anything. I think there was one Lori asked, is it okay to say that results from Mood Plus are or can be almost immediate? So my take on that is I just when I talk about anything, I try not to oversell it, but over deliver, undersell, over deliver. You can add that in there that we have seen that with certain people. That's certainly a way to say that. From the effect, Dr. Cheri, I think you got a little bit more experience with some of these since you've been using it
Yeah.
a little bit more. Go ahead, jump in.
Yeah, I would just say that, just what I say, and I don't lead and tell them that because if it may not, yeah, every child is different. So I'm like, here, try it. I only had the one, but now I give 2 so they can do 2 doses, or if they have 2 kids, they can each try it. And I even have them split it. I tell them to take the little pack because they can do it as a pixie stick and they can do it in water, that the kid can try it 2 ways because they put half a packet in water, they can taste it, and the rest they could put in their mouth to try it. But I don't lead like that. I believe in authenticity, but not, and just saying it's possible. So, you can certainly let them know that we've heard that some people have noticed a difference, right? But remember what's going to happen as you consistently take the product, the results will become more and more apparent. Because it was kind of like, oh, I think I noticed something. And then that second day, oh, I definitely noticed something, right? So that's how it is. And every kid is different. So that was a great question.
I think I've seen a lot of questions pop up around the ages. If you go onto the specific product on there on the website and look at it, it should specify. It will specify on there. I was just scrolling through that. So the ages
Oh,
can.
four and up for sure.
Mhm.
Okay. And I know there was one, I think that said 3. And then what I recommended, if they're younger than that, you can take it to the child's pediatrician and have them okay it. So that's what I would do, because we don't, so for the kids calm, it says for children ages 4 and up. Okay. And I know that the happy juice is kids age. And I think the vitamins, 2-year-olds aren't going to be able to chew them, guys. Sorry. They've got to have teeth. They're going to have to be older. So maybe a 3-year-old would be able to take the Vita GBX and chew it. But
Oh,
they're going to need, not kids. So think about that. Toddlers, right? It's not for toddlers. It's for kids and teens. There's a difference in those age groups. And then the happy juice, I know it's 4 to 16, or 4 to 18, I know that because it says it. And then the mood is probably going to be the same thing. I would follow the same thing. I don't think I would be giving a 2-year-old the mood. I wouldn't personally. Maybe a 3-year-old, you could give half a packet, but I'm pretty sure it does say 4 on here. So, but it's on the resource sheets. And if you're not sure, you can always email, is it product support? No, product usage or product support at amari.com if you have questions with that. But
I thought it was product questions at amari.com.
there you go. Thank you. Yeah.
They probably will get all emails that get sent to amari.com.
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, and so just they're safe, they're effective, and they're really good for children. Right. And so this is to create well-being in mind, body, and spirit for our littles, like I call them, right? And for our teens, right? And so it's to help them thrive. And that's what we want to do. It's like I said, nothing we've shared tonight is intended to treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Whisper, you're gonna be a rock star.